I'm Logan. I am the Lord of MEDIAX. I am the savior of the MEDIAX church.
I love it. I love it. The last time we got together before the light lockdown that hit Taiwan, we were in Hualien
experiencing the life. That was, the fishing for crabs. Remember pulling the crabs out?
So good.
我们来抓螃蟹吧. The bait for the crabs is placed a meter into the sand, and with the use of a little net trap, the crabs are scooped from the bait into our hands.
2只3只4只
Oh my gosh! Crab catching. Here we go. I got 2! Yes! 你看这个2个. No! I got none. Okay. Go!
Oh no!
Yeah, you got 1!
I got one!
Kiss it.
When the lockdowns came, I was very let down. I am an outdoor kind of guy. That's where my inspiration, that's where my creativity, that's where my happiness derives from. So when the lockdown came, they urged people not to go outside. Filming came to a stop. My main reason, and I made a video talking about this, is when you film with a mask, it makes a barrier between you and the camera because your smile says everything about a person. Talking is half your speech, half body language, and most of that comes from your mouth. Mm-hmm. So I feel like I couldn't connect with the camera, and all motivation was just ceased.
That's
exactly.
It was gone. That's what I felt. I had no motivation. Zero.
And then for me, I don't like to film inside. I also have 2 crazy kids running around, so the logistics of having a quiet setting is also impossible. It was lightly depressed, and then from then it's kind of even lingered to now, where it's just it's affected me until now even.
Agreed. It really does make some challenges for us as videographers.
Very. Then, as YouTubers, our goal is to hit on hot topics.
Yeah.
And I guess the biggest hot topic is COVID-19. And, I did a few, but after I did a few, I was done with the topic, and I could no longer be on the trending topic. And I didn't want to continue filming that. Number 1, it wasn't my interest. Number 2, I didn't want to feed to the negative pool.
And there's so much negativity, right? That was I think we're on the exact same page. In the time that you weren't able to make as many videos, what did you do to stay healthy?
Well, I did a few things, but mainly exercise and diet.
Hold on, you also took something else up. I think
cycling.
It was during that.
Cycling!
Right?
That is the greatest sport of all time. The greatest exercise. You can see new places, you can exercise, and also during that time, I learned how to cook. I taught myself culinary art.
Logan Beck, the chef.
Yeah, well, at the beginning of this year, I realized I could make some of my favorite foods, and I could barely make food at all, even scrambled eggs. So I decided last year's New Year goal was to learn how to cook.
Cool.
So it got to the point where last year, the last 3 months, I could open my fridge and just make a full 5-course meal just with what was in there. Found a hobby, found something I enjoyed,
Okay, so you used to be a Mormon.
Correct.
I remember when you decided, we chatted a little bit, and I think it was a very emotional time for you, right? To decide I was a Mormon, and now I'm not sure if this life resonates with me.
Yeah.
And I remember watching you have your first coffee.
Chugged it. I chugged it, yeah.
You were like a little kid. You were like, woo, oh my God. 27 years you've been waiting for this moment.
Look at the cream. Okay. It's very warming. It's like loving. It's comforting.
Okay. Hey, can I tell you something? As a fellow Italian coffee drinker,
Yes.
you're supposed to slowly enjoying it.
Really?
Yeah, it's not a meeting.
I chugged it.
In Mormonism, you're not allowed to drink coffee.
Yeah.
What's your take on coffee now?
Oh, coffee's great. Number 1, I was never allowed to drink coffee. That's a big no-no in the Mormon church.
Yeah.
And after that change, I could drink coffee. So therefore, I'd stop energy drinks. And those are just bad for you, full of sugars. I stopped other drinks. Because I had coffee, I found a new love for bitter.
Yes.
The nice roasted taste, which led me to rather have a coffee than a whole bunch of sweets. Mm-hmm. And that's what helped me lose a lot of weight, was actually switching to coffee, which is actually, when you drink it in a moderate way.
Moderate is key.
it's actually really healthy for your body, moderately speaking.
Moderately,
that is. With your metabolism.
I agree with you about metabolism though, because I went about 100 and I don't know if it was 160 or 180 days without any caffeine. I gained weight during that time, big time. I went back to it and I started dropping the weight and going back to the size that I want to be again. And I think the caffeine it speeds up your metabolism. I agree. Is there anything else that you would want to share, having been a Mormon, to who you are now, like anything profound that you would want to share that's inspiring to people?
Yeah, I will make a disclaimer. No matter how I say it, it will be offending, because I'd rather speak open about it. But the truth is, I guess, have you seen the movie Bubble Boy?
Yes.
And he's stuck
with
in a bubble.
Jake Gyllenhaal, right?
Yeah, and he's stuck in a bubble his whole life, and then he finds out he's not sick to anything. He can explore, he can live. And it was like that. So I grew up in a very orthodox Mormon religion. I don't try to blame my parents. I don't blame my society, because they all grew up in that. It was part of the system.
They're all good people.
They're all good people, but it's a system that was broken. The first part was very hard. It was very sad. It was had to erase my whole identity. Everything that I thought was reality was.
欢迎收看 VSMEDIA， 我是戴瑟尔苏，
我是疯狗编，
周一至周五每天中午12点，
小编造口业陪你聊聊最热门新闻，
每天直播在线等你哦，拜拜。
A fake little script written by a man in the 18th century wanting to make some money. So everything that I thought and I believed, and I spent 2 years of my life dedicated to this. So I've had to completely just erase who I am and then rebuild it. It was about in March or so of that year when I started to realize, is this really what they claim to be, the one and only God's true church? And it kind of helped me realize, okay, I should look at it from a different perspective rather than I was always told you have to look at it this way.
Yeah.
And that's when I realized things don't add up. But I didn't allow myself to accept it. Because once again, I had spent my whole life, it's in my family. I know if I leave, there's going to be lots of drama. And then, of course, just I have to accept to myself that just everything I believed is fake. You know, you have to accept that you were wrong, and that's very hard to do with something so big. Just so everyone can understand, Mormonism has a belief that if you do all the right things in the Church of Mormonism, you can go to what I call VIP heaven, like the top tier of heaven.
Yeah.
And there, families can be together forever. That is the motto. But if you apostate or you leave the church, you no longer get to be with your family forever. So by me leaving, it's just like I died for my family, because they mentally believe they will go to VIP heaven and I will no longer be there. They lost their son for an eternity because of my decision on earth. They fully 100% believe their child is gone.
You can come to my heaven if you want.
And then I had the time when I accepted that I was wrong. And that's kind of when I went into a depression, and then I jumped on an angry stage. Anger is an appropriate response for human beings.
It's also part of healing.
Yeah, and I feel like I was very vindicated in how I felt, what I acted. But then after I realized that, I decided my next stage
level,
of building myself.
Yeah.
I'm now very open about the fact that I'm no longer Mormon, but I accept those that want to. I would say, however, just think and look outside the box rather than always inside on what you've been told every single day.
Yeah.
Because every story has more than two sides.
And I like you use the term people need to be tolerant of one another. You don't have to agree with how people are, and I think this is a problem in today's societies. In society, we need to accept that people have different paths, and we do not all see life the same way.
I'll address this because we were in the car talking about it. Talking about the human needs. What do we need most? And there's a thing called Maslow's hierarchy of human needs. The number one thing humans need the most is self-identity actualization. But I think if you realize that some people maybe need that religion to help them achieve that. But it also comes with a price.
I think for a lot of people, not having the religion might make them crazy. Speaking from my own experience, I'm not a religious person, and I've had that self-realization in my existence. And when you don't have a label for whatever that is, it can be a scary place sometimes.
Well, because you don't know who you are.
Yeah, but I think it's actually beautiful to not know who you are, and that's my perspective of it. Because not knowing who you are means you know who you're not.
Yeah,
the layers of programming that happen.
It's deep. It's deep.
Coming out of this now, you must feel a relief to be able to say, this is what I am not. But what are you?
I'm Logan. Like that is it. I am the Lord of MEDIAX. I am the savior of the MEDIAX church.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. I mean, my biggest thing is I don't like the idea of living in a belief system that has fear surrounding it.
Yeah.
And I feel like if what you believe is coming from here, not from the crazy monkey brain up here, then I think this is the right place. I think up here is where all the confusion and insanity comes from right here.
Which is why I love these Taiwanese cultures.
Yes.
Mazu, when you go to a Mazu thing, it's go to Mazu, be good to other people.
I never felt so much love, man. Like when you took me to that Mazu, like I literally, you remember I went under Mazu and it was just kind of a blessing.
Exactly.
And I literally had tears in my eyes. Like I remember feeling this love, but the love I was feeling was that collective love that everyone there was feeling.
Yes.
Hey! How was it, man?
Can I tell you what I wish for?
What?
Peace and love for the whole world.
That's beautiful, Cole.
I actually feel emotional right now.
That is beautiful, man.
I don't know if I'm just caught up with the crowd or whatever. I actually feel something in my heart right now, honestly.
Absolutely beautiful.
Just be a good person, religion or not. I guess it's... Second disclaimer, the reason we're sharing this is not to be a bash on religions, a certain religion, but I think it's important. I went through a very hardful phase on my faith transaction, my faith crisis, in which many people will also could be experiencing. And I think it's a good learning opportunity to share this, so it's nothing negative upon one's own belief if you have your own religious, but there are many people suffering from faith crisis.
So many.
So it's my pleasure to share with you some of my thoughts, my pain, my experiences to help others.
Whatever you believe, you should feel good about that belief.
I remember being very religious, and it seemed anything anti-religious was extremely taboo. And I feel like religious people put too many taboos around their thing that it really constricts them to have a closed mind. So for us to talk about this, I feel like for so many people, we have to jump over these taboos and be careful.
Yes.
This should be an open topic.
I've been thinking about the polarization of the world, and it makes me sad because nobody really knows 100% what's right. We got to get away from fear. I think that's the main thing. All fear does is create more fear, and love creates more love. So,
more love.
All you need is love.
I feel like you're just like me, where we've disregarded taboos.
I'm just tired of it. I don't like I can't worry all the time about what every single person's gonna think, because then I would just keep my mouth shut all the time. You know, and it's even hard to keep track of what's okay and not okay to talk about in 2022. Do you have anything that currently inspires you or that you would like to share to inspire? Like, is there anything that comes to mind?
I used to have a very negative aspect on selfishness. But there is a level of selfishness that I think everyone should have. Do things for yourself that makes you happy. And just as long as it doesn't affect anyone negatively.
Don't hurt other people.
Yes. But definitely take care of yourself and don't worry about being selfish once in a while for your own health, mental or physical. So be in the moment, positivity, find true joy from yourself, not from an organization, not from something else.
Leave a comment. Would you like to see Logan and I start a podcast together? That would be we have talked about that before.
Many times.
With that said, I hope you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are. Thank you for watching A Healthy Balance, and
喝一杯，快乐一杯，
米江万岁。
如果你也想成为下一位爆红创作者，请打开下方资讯栏连结，一起来投稿吧。